It's a little bit hard to express exactly how I feel because I really think it's going to take a bit of time for it all to acclimate. I feel like I've been through a tremendous, incredible, powerful experience, that's for sure. I didn't expect the way, there was a bit of a time warp. It's almost like time fell into itself. Because here we are, we have gone through 30 intense days. In some ways, it feels like lifetimes, it feels like years, but in other ways, it feels like we just started yesterday, you know? And there were times where I was like, I'm ready for this to be over, and now that it's all over, I'm like, I feel like I need just a little bit more. So that was a bit of a surprise. I didn't expect that. Honestly, I look forward, I think that's one reason why I do this. I look forward to going out and making connections with people, you know, even if because I've seen the power without really realizing it while it's taking root of the practice, and I have to attribute it to the practice, how it does affect your energy and how your energy affects other people. When you walk into a grocery store, it doesn't even have to be people you know, and then you run into people you know, like old friends, family, and then you really get to see what a difference the shift in me has made and how it affects other people in a very positive way. And that's always a pleasant surprise, because, you know, it's not something you think about while you're in the middle of this work, but it definitely is an attribute. It's a very pleasant reward at the end. I do feel like a changed person, and that's one thing I said in our last interview is, you know, what if I had expectations, what I was anticipating was that it would be transformational. And I feel that it has been. You know, I feel like I just worked through so many things. Like I said, it's going to take some time to kind of assimilate everything that I've learned. But right now I can say that I definitely feel like a changed human. I think I've lightened my load a lot, you know, and that feels really good. And I'm really excited to see where that takes me, you know, how that is reflected, you know, my life going forward. One of the biggest surprises for me, I have to say, is to really realize the depth, the layers, and the degree of my neuroses. And that's what was really beautiful about, I think you asked me last time, you know, why 30 days? And it really takes that time to get to the deep, deep layers. Around, you know, the time of our interview, you know, I thought things were sailing, everything was beautiful, everything was wonderful, and then boom, you hit up against more stuff, things that you didn't even realize that you had within you, or that you needed to be looking at. So that was really intense. But along with that, I mean, that's very uncomfortable. It's painful, it's hard work, it's not cheery and sunny, it's not pleasant, it's not fun. But on the reverse side, I really reached a level of peace within myself that I've never experienced in my life. And I definitely attribute that just to the length of time, to practice being. I thought I had worked through so much already in past Quepasanas and through the 13 to 15 days. And, you know, that's one thing I realized, it really takes that amount of time for you to really settle in, that you can get so deep. And it wasn't pleasant, it wasn't cheery, it wasn't fun. It was very uncomfortable. You know, I didn't like it many times. You know, I think everyone will tell you there were times when you're saying, like, what am I doing here? You know, I just want to leave. I'm over this. But that was always times when you're like bumping up against something. So, you know, like, and quickly you realize that, you know, that's the reason, you know, that's the reason I'm feeling this way, because I'm bumping up against something. And then you realize what it is you're bumping up against. And that's the moment, and it's a moment of frustration, because it's like, you know, there's a moment of panic, like, well, what if I can't bust through it? You know, what if I don't have it within me? But the beauty of the practice too is, you know, the universe is there to support you. You've got everyone around you in the same situation. You can feel vibrationally that everyone is going through the same thing, and everyone's there, like I said, supporting you. And you bust through it. And I have to say that I reached levels of just peace, total peace, tranquility. I had so many moments of just pure beauty. And oh my God, I wouldn't trade that for anything. And like more than anything, you know, I just wish that, you know, I always say that, I just wish that everyone could have just like 5 minutes, even a minute. If everyone every day could feel that degree of peace for 1 minute, I think it would change the world. I mean, it's just that powerful, that beautiful, that wonderful. And it's not something you can grasp at. It's something that you have to let be, let happen, you know, and I think that's exactly what we were doing, and the beauty of the extended time period to practice just being, you know. And you say, what, practice being? I mean, you are always. Yes, you are always, but there's this static, you know, that happens, you know, with all the influences around you and everything energetically that's happening to, you know, maintain yourself through this life experience that kind of shadow that beingness. So it takes being still so that you can get above the static, so that you can actually, I think, make some progress as a human being and shed a lot of those accumulated traits or neuroses or anxieties or all the above that you've accumulated along the way through the process of just living. Yeah. For one thing, it's something that, you know, is so dear to my heart. It's something I feel that, you know, I've been blessed, fortunate enough to have been a part of from such an early process. The most fascinating thing for me is the way it has taken on a life of its own. And from that standpoint, I don't want to put any expectations on it, but it's been just fascinating and just a wonderful experience watching it bloom and blossom. And that's exactly what it's doing. I mean, it's an organic process. It has a life of its own. I mean, it's off and running. It's doing its thing. You know, it's coming from purity. And when something comes from purity, I think that's what happens. It sprouts and it blooms. I would say go for it. And if, you know, the stars are aligned for you and you happen to be in the flow, that you're accepted and you're able to attend, you're gonna get just what you need. And matter of fact, you're gonna get more than you need. And the degree of what you leave with will be equal to the degree that you can open up and release. And it's amazing how that works. But you will definitely, you'll get what you came for. And you will leave a changed person. I mean, it's just an experience like that. No matter what you go through personally, you're gonna leave a changed person, and for the better. I would say it's an organic gathering of givers who have come together with the intent of personal deep exploration, for the intent of betterment for themselves, so that in the same they are better for the world and society, to make themselves a better person, to create a ripple effect, to raise the vibration, spread the love, spread the joy, spread the light. That I was the biggest challenge, because, you know, you say you have no expectations, but again, you know, as I said before, you do have expectations. I've done many Quepasanas, went through the first 10 days, had the creative expression in the middle, and, I thought my work was done. And that's when I really hit the big stuff. So that was the biggest challenge, was myself, myself having to really reach those depths, and stick with it and realize that, I'd just gone a little further, and I had to I had to big up. I'm here to do the work. I've got to do the work, and I've got to see it through. So that, I would say that was, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to have so many personal challenges. I should be a pro at this. I just find people in general extremely entertaining. So what was easy was spending 30 days with some of the most eclectic, artistic, entertaining, beautiful, open people, and having just no agenda, having everything taken care of for you, and just being able to be quiet, and to be able to be with yourself and to observe. I mean, and it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous atmosphere. That was super easy for me. That was extremely entertaining. I mean, that drives me. That pulled me through a lot of it. Oh, I let go of a lot of stuff. I was able to really get to depths where I could pinpoint the origins of a lot of my issues that have followed me around my entire life that I didn't even realize were obstacles, and creating obstacles, and creating suffering for myself. That was one thing. Just getting and being able to go inside your body and being able to get so deeply in touch with yourself as an organism, to me, was like just fascinating and extremely healing, because I really believe that we can heal ourselves. And I just, I could feel it. I have had this issue with my neck, for over a year now, like extreme. And I don't like to say that anything's chronic. I don't like to put a label on something, but I can't say that hadn't passed my mind, and with just this process of looking in. And I do take responsibility for everything that happens in my life, including my health and the condition of this physical form. So, I know or knew that it was me holding on to things, that was causing this distress in my body. So to be able to get in that and work with that, and again, just letting go. You can't do it consciously, but it's just a byproduct of tapping in, opening up channels in your body, and with the help of, oh my God, these just incredible, beautiful, loving healers. I mean, I haven't felt this way in a year, and I could be sitting there and just out of nowhere, little pops, and I could feel things opening up. Yes, so that to me was extremely healing. And that's another situation, like once you experience that, on a somatic level, I mean, you're a changed person. You never go back to, you've experienced it now, so you know that as a reality with yourself. And it's just, everything's just opening another door. I mean, it's all just a journey. There's no end to it. So yeah, that was extremely healing for me. My happiest moments was seeing the joy in Jorge, seeing how incredibly happy. I've never seen glimpses of him where I've seen him happier, and that really brought me so much joy. And then my happiest moments, other than that, were just glimpses. There was one day it was that time of the afternoon where the sun was just shining in the shala, and I had just reached, as I mentioned, to my surprise, this depth of peace that I'd never experienced in my life. And we open our eyes after a meditation, and there was this beautiful tapestry. Just in front of me was the corner, and it was hanging on the back of this cabinet, and it was shimmering in the sunlight. And it was just like the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my life. It was just that moment. And I had just had so many just visual, I tend to be a visual person anyway, just visual moments of just perfection and beauty. You know, the look on someone's face, or, you know, the way their hair flew, and just incredible. You know, you'd think I was on like some sort of trip or something, but it was all getting high on your own supply. Yeah, that was incredible. So many moments like that. Again, just, you know, a wonderful, amazing byproduct of the practice. Just slowing down, you know, letting all that static drop to the bottom, the mud dropping to the bottom of the river, so that, you know, you're just above it, and you're able to reach a level of quietness, but within that it's just a level too of clarity. And within the stillness there's a lot going on, you know, and that's where the heightened senses comes, because everything's just pumping, you know, your channels are open and you're feeling it everywhere. I mean, you just feel, you're totally still, you're totally quiet, but you just feel so crazy and alive. I mean, there's moments where you're just, you're nature, you know, you are the wind is you, and the wind is dancing with you. And I mean, it's just like, not to be too esoteric, but to me, it's just it's an amazing ride. It's an amazing experience. Quepasana is a wonderful, beautiful, life-changing experience. It's just been a crazy, wonderful, incredible ride, and I think it's just beginning, you know. There's some really wonderful, big, beautiful things happening, and that makes me really happy. Yeah, it's just an amazing experience. Oh, I love you so much, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so, so happy for you. And thank you for being in my life and allowing me to be part of this. I'll be eternally grateful.